Hey everybody, and welcome to another Arkham Horror List video. Today we're going to be talking about what we think are the foremost brutal, annoying, frustrating, bad word here, peril cards in the game. Peril cards are cards that no one can help you with. We made that mistake and then chat yelled at us and said, do you guys even know what this means? And we're like, we don't know what anything means when we play this game. We just try to tell jokes about Charlie Kane and Guy Fieri. But we're going to be talking about them today. This came from one of our viewers. Thank you for the suggestion to do this one. And why don't we dive right in? And Bryn, what is your number 4?
I got the Whispers of Hypnos. Although I'm going to be honest, this one's on the list not because I don't actually think most peril cards are annoying. They're usually an interesting decision tree that you aren't allowed to ask for help on. So you got to figure it out yourself. The part of this one that is annoying is remembering which round it was drawn in. And that foot is, in fact, bad. Yeah.
I do think it's one of those things that we've even gotten better where we just now keep the cards in front of us so we can like point and be like foot bad.
Yeah, I usually get around that these days by dumping it into my threat area.
Yeah.
So then I remember that this is the round it's in, and I get to discard it, get to deal with it at the end of the turn. This doesn't work if the scenario cares about the discard pile order. But hey,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, because this one isn't stay and play. It's not a reminder one. Yeah.
No, it doesn't actually stay.
So here's a rules question. If I don't remember what you chose for yours, am I allowed to ask you, or is it a peril card so I have to figure it out by myself?
Yeah, you gotta figure it out on your own.
And then if I choose foot, you say, you freaking idiot!
Foot's bad.
I think you gotta... I think you can ask on this one, because you have to pick a different one, right?
No, yeah. No, definitely go with that one, because that one doesn't change. Yeah. That one's not a decision. Yeah. You just need to know what's been chosen.
Yeah.
I love this card because I love saying foot bad.
Yeah, pretty much you draw it and it's like, oh, foot bad.
Oh, thank God, foot bad. And then sometimes when you pick up the second one, then it gets interesting because then you're like, ooh.
Other one bad.
Brain bad, probably, but I can't ask. Yeah. And on this too, with what you were saying, Brenna, a lot of these cards I like a lot of the peril design because you get to make an interesting decision. So with these ones that I chose from my list, a lot of it was based on how many times you guys have yelled at me depending on my decision. So, because that's what I remember about these ones. So my number 4, I think it's low on supplies. Yeah, Travis yelled at me once for this one. Because this one's easy. This one I just lose 2 resources. I'm like, I see this and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then I remember I did it to Travis once, and it was, I think, in the Return to the Forgotten Age, if it is in this one, or it might just be a normal Forgotten Age run we've done, because we've done millions. But it ruined Travis's whole turn. Like, it just absolutely crippled him. And to me, I was just like, I don't need this shit. I'm a skill-based investigator. I don't care.
Yeah.
Even the take 1 damage, like, it's really small, but it could just, like, really frick someone up. Like, they're just like, oh, now I'm gonna die because of this.
Yeah. The stressful part about this one for me is when I see somebody else draw it, and I'm like, man, if they pick discard an asset on.
Yeah.
But, like...
we didn't really choose... I don't remember ever choosing the discard an asset.
We usually don't. It's usually, like... There are so few assets in this game that are worth less than 2 resources.
Yes, yeah. Maybe next time, Bryn, I'll do it just to put that fear in you. I'll be like, just to get. Bryn, why don't I discard my 1 asset and you discard one of yours? Justin, why are you getting rid of your 1 asset?
Yeah, that's a trick question. I know Justin would never do that because it would mean that he'd probably have to discard either his Fire Axe or his Dark Horse.
It's true. Yeah, or my Pete Sylvester. Yeah. We have no junk here. Nothing is discardable. Resources, they're expendable. Health, who needs it? Travis, what's your number 4?
It's Syzygy.
It's like mine, but worse.
Yeah. This one sucks because I've been playing Innsmouth a lot recently, and the scenarios where this card is in the deck, especially with 4 people, you just never have any resources to pay for anything. Because, like, someone at your table can't afford to take 2 horror every other turn.
Yeah, 2
Every
horror
2 or
is
3 turns.
crazy.
Yeah, like, you can't just be putting Doom on the agenda, so instead everyone just never has money to play with.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's, like, kind of not fun.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. Just looking at the difference. That's nuts, man. Yeah. I would choose the resources, but that's because, once again, just 2
Wait,
horror.
you usually the other 2 suck, dude.
The other 2 suck. It's true. Like, you just take, the other one's just like, with like the low on supplies, the 1 damage is like fine. You could survive. That's fine, right? But 2 horror is a big ask for everybody to take. That's 8 horror in a 4-player game.
Yeah, especially if someone's got like 5 horror.
Dude, this is gonna fuck my Daniela up. All right, let's go to our number 3. Bryn, what is your number 3?
I got Delusory Evils. This one's both apparel and hidden.
Wow.
So you get to secretly add it to your hand, or place 1 Doom on the current agenda, and discard it. The effect is it's Ancient Evils. Different Ancient Evils. And then it's got a force effect that when you would succeed by a skill test by 3 or more, you automatically fail. Instead, discard it from your hand. This one, I don't consider to be particularly brutal either. It is, however, quite annoying because I have to remember that it's there. And unlike the other hidden, I do as in general like the hidden cards. I think they're mostly a solid way to make players take decision trees that appear irrational from the outside. But this one's just annoying.
Yeah.
You go and you do a thing, and you're like, yeah, and then I'm going to do this, and then you stop, and you're like, oh no, wait, how much did I pass by? Okay, no. What happened is that like this failed, and I've got to go back and figure this out because I forgot that I had this in my hand.
Yeah.
I think the worst part with this card is it's supposed to be a replacement for Ancient Evils, but you just take it every time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
that's
even
never
offer
a
an interesting choice. It's just like, are you ready to do math? And if we know about me, not ready to do math.
Like the only time you would take the Doom is like we have 3 turns left to play the game, and if I succeed on my double deduction test, we can win right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty much like it's almost always wrong to take the Doom.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's no fun. What's my number 3? I forget. Oh, Tidal Alignment. This one also, I killed Travis with this card.
Justin.
Choose a location where there's at least 1 investigator, increase the flood level, and they take 1 damage. If there's no flood level, surge, but that's not the problem. The problem is that I look at my location and I say, I'm going to drown. Travis has 3 unrevealed locations next to him. He's going to be fine. And then he dies. You know? But that's life, right? The ones where it affects an investigator and like it can really... There's another one too. I don't know if it made it on my list, but there's one in Forgotten Age where you put a Doom on a location with investigator and that investigator takes a horror. That has dealt us a lot of horror damage while also being an Ancient Evils. This one just has like that memory very recently where Travis drowned and I feel responsible for it. But it's not my fault, it's Tidal Alignment's fault.
No, it's your fault.
Travis, what's your number 3?
It's a combination of Psych Bomb Song and whatever the other one is.
Death Approaches.
Yeah. Where you put them to play, and then when you can put them into anyone's threat area, and when they would take 1 more damage or horror, depending on the version, they take 2 additional damage or horror, depending on the version. So you like have to stick this like. You can't stick them on your goon because 3's like a lot, man. That's something like because they're going to be taking damage. They're going to trigger it. Just take 2 extra. That sucks. You can't put them on your weak people because if they take a little bit of damage, they'll just die. And on top of it all, they both have surge, so you have to have another card too.
Yeah.
Like these cards just suck, man.
I love the art on Psychopomp's song though.
It is good.
Tweet.
But every time on these cards, you have to agonize over what you're gonna do and who you're gonna give it to, and like if you don't take it for yourself, they're gonna be mad. But then you don't want to have it because you're the seeker and you know you're the most important member of the team. And you give it to someone else, and then after you've bitten the bullet and made your decision, you have to figure out what to do with another card.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It always just feels like when you give it to someone too, you're like basically like, I hope you die. It's a death wish. Like I'm here to kill you. Just so
you get to someone else, you're telling them, I've decided your life is less valuable than mine.
Yeah. No, but then you frame it like, no, you can take it. Look at all the soak you have. You're gonna be fine.
Look, you got that researcher, man. He'll
kill him.
take 2 damage for you.
All right, let's go to our number 2. Bryn, what is yours?
Got Ancestral Fear.
What?
This one
no
actually.
Way.
Yeah.
It's my number 2 as well.
Yeah. This one, so it's got Surge, firstly, and that's kind of tough. But I do actually really like this one. It always feels bad to draw it, because, like, what are you going to do? Right? Like, this, unlike many of the other Ancient Evils stand-ins, it does provide you with 2 choices that feel roughly equally bad.
Yeah.
So, like, you do actually have to stop and think about which one you want to do. And either way, you get another card.
Yeah, the Surge is just like the icing on top of the shit cupcake.
Yeah, pretty much. Like this, I do really like this card because it is just better than Delusory Evils, where there isn't a mode that it's just like, wow, you drew this, it's this mode, it's this. That's what it does. Like, nah, you gotta stop and think about the state that your campaign is currently in, and that your game is currently in, and try to figure out which option is best.
For me, this one was my number 2 for a lot of the reasons you said. I like the fact that the decision is actually difficult, because it's one of those cards that like punches you in the face. And if the Surge wasn't there, like I think I feel like the Surge isn't there. Is there because in the victory display is like not. It's like bad, but not like crazy bad. But I feel like it's still kind of like really feels bad. And then when you have to draw another one, it's even worse. Also, we go going back to the other ones because I remember there was in the Forgotten Age, I was like, yeah, I'll put this in the victory display. Then suddenly Bryn and Travis, so there's like something else gets in the victory display, and they're suddenly like uh-oh, things are bad because of the vengeance going on over here. And I'm just like, that was my fault, tweedledee. But like decisions like this is what makes the game fun, right? Where like how small choices you make that the peril cards bring cascade into future problems. It's what makes the game exciting, right? And that's why the peril cards, I enjoy them overall, even though I wish this card did not have Surge.
Yeah, like maybe it would gain Surge if you choose to put it into the victory display.
Yeah, the Doom into Surge is kind of like, ugh. Yeah. All right, Travis, what's your number 2?
Oh, it's a window to another time.
Yeah. This card sucks, man.
This card's awful. It only shows up in Boundary Beyond, but it's a big reason why that scenario is so miserable.
Yeah.
So you either get to put them on the agenda that can cause it's either Ancient Evils, which is one of your choices, but the awful part about this card is sometimes you pick that one. A lot of the time you pick that one.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, it's to choose and shuffle an ancient location back into the exploration deck. Which, like, you're trying to get a bunch of those into play with no clues on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just walks up and it's like, which of your kneecaps would you like broken?
Yeah, and then also, like, all the exploration stuff, it's a punishing effect. So it's like, you lose time no matter what on this card. Like, neither choice is, like, good. And not that like you expect the choices to be good in a Mythos card, right? But like, sorry, both choices are just fucking awful. Is the better way of putting it.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking at this card and you say, you know, it's just an Ancient Evils for the turn. Like that's a rough Mythos card when like it's like, oh, it's just an Ancient Evils, right?
Yeah, like this card is Ancient Evils, but it opens up the opportunity that you'll make a worse choice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you can't even do it. Someone just does it. You're just like, nah. All right.
Lose a turn. Sometimes lose more than one turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. And also on this one, it also makes you play Heart of the Elders more potentially.
Yeah.
Let's go to number 1. Bryn, what is yours?
I got the Psychopops song. This one, I hate because when somebody else draws it, I get to look at it and be like, if that comes over here, I'm going to die.
I'm glad you feel the same way about
like,
this
well,
card.
fuck. Like, I mean, I can't tell you shouldn't. Well, I can tell you shouldn't have done that, but like, I can't change it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We're just here now. We're waiting to die. Yeah, this card is just like kind of a kicking.
Yeah.
As well. You can end up with multiple Psychopomp songs in one player's threat area. You probably shouldn't, but like you could.
Take 5 damage? Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I think you get it. Oh, sorry, Bryn.
Sorry, this one's just like it's just not a good time.
Yeah. I think you get it a lot because you always seem so confident, and then you're just like, we're like, how's it going, Bryn? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna die this turn.
That does I do say that a non-zero amount of the time.
All right. My number 1. This is a little bit of a weird one. So this one is the Secret Must Be Kept. This is from the Threads of Fate. So test brain 3. If you fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror for each act deck the investigators have completed. This skill test gets +1 difficulty and deals +1 damage and +1 horror if it is failed. This one's a bit different than all the other ones we have on the list because you're not making a choice with this peril card. This card basically just says, hey, do you have 2 brain? Fucking die, you scrub, right? Like it. Especially because, like, when you draw the like in the early part of the scenario, it's like, it's not that bad, right? I'll take a damage and a horror. That sucks, but that's okay. If you draw this, like, in the last little bit, when you're usually running close to empty for the stats and the damage and horror that you can take, this card just kills you. Like, it's brutal, right? Like, especially, like, I don't know if this is in the return to, if it gets replaced when you do other encounter cards, but, like, this could deal 4 damage and 4 horror and be a test 6, brain 6. That's kind of wild, and no one can help you with it. You can't like ask for help that someone else can commit brain symbols. This is just you one-on-one with this dude in this fucking room with this knife, and he's going for your fucking throat.
He's got the knife and you do not.
Yeah, this is the kind of peril I don't like, where it's like it requires a test. I feel like the game designs in itself with the fact that tests, in order to do tests, like to have someone help you, you need to be on the same location the majority of the time. Like Min breaks the rules and some other stuff. So like the peril doing that feels a little bit like, ugh. But the choice thing I really like, this card is just kind of like, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to die because it's going to deal me 3 damage and 3 horror, and that's wild.
Yeah. Though this one, like somebody else can help you with it if they're playing yellow. And they've got the Illuminati.
Yes, yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. Thank God. I mean, that would be a good one for the Illuminati. This one would be fantastic.
Real good one for the Illuminati.
Yeah. All right, Travis, why don't you close us out with your number 1?
Yeah, it's coin hand.
Look at my coin.
You want the coin or you want the hand?
Yeah.
Either you take the coin, you put a deal on Azathoth, which puts you 10% of the way to losing the scenario, or you get slapped for 3 hearts and 3 brains. It's it sucks, man.
Yeah, neither choice is great.
Like, you know it's coming and you laugh about it, but when you draw it, you're just like, oh. You're laughing about other people drawing it, not you.
It is kind of funny that we joke about this card all the time, but we hate it drawing it.
It's brutal, dude.
It is. Did we, when you were playing with your family, did anyone draw it and be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yep. Oh yeah. Twice.
That's so
And then we
good.
lost.
Oh
Yeah. No, it's just like you know it's coming, but it's so bad, man. You're like, I don't want to put the Doom on the agenda because then like we're gonna lose if we do that too many times. But also like, how many times can you take 3 hearts and 3 brains from this while also fending off mindless dancers?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a definite haymaker. It does not. There's no good choice.
No.
No. Sick. All right. Doop. Oh, my camera's not here. Don't worry. There I am. I'm Justin. Hello.
This guy's got good taste.
Our patron contribution for this week. It's a window to another time from Superfang. So yeah, this card sucks. We have patron approval on our list that this one. Yeah. If you want to join our Patreon and can contribute to the list videos, I put up a post every time before we get recording. You also get some hidden intel of what our upcoming list videos are going to be. So that's kind of like, kind of cool. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry?
No, I was just laughing.
Oh, that's even better. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys have a good one. We love you. And as always, GG's.